Now they're going to change their direction for attack. Northern Gaming blue.
Crew has a Graviton Surge already and gets everyone, and the Zebusai followed up with a high noon, so there's no way you can avoid that high noon. Yeah. That results in a full team wipe. Like the Mercy even uses the rest to get back Skipjack, the Reinhardt, probably because Skipjack almost has ult, and that's probably the reason why she decided to like arrest him.
And Lizando is actually going to remove himself from the Widowmaker. He's on the McCree, has been from the last fight. Got a little bit of charge for his ulti, but not there yet. He's going to come in. Zaf's going to use his sound spell, as I like to call it. That's a technical term. And it would actually start winning him the first fight. Crew left on the point all alone, going to get picked up by Nutty B. And yeah, with sound barrier, is if you want to call it that, if you're watching at home, they are able to get the points. So whether or not they can keep it, and again, we're going to see soon, he's actually now going to switch off the Widowmaker and go for the McCree. So both teams switching over to the McCrees for some more fight on the point.
Also Skipjack swapped off the Reinhardt to another Winston.
And that Primal Rage Winston as well, very, very dangerous for teams that are trying to access the rest of the map, and you can see Kratos there having to skate a little bit as well, but a couple falling off the edge. I think
Nevix might... No, he chopped off. He could have gotten back up, but he failed ball climbing.
Oh dear.
He's going to be so happy when he watches the VODs and you really pointed that out. Could have got back up, just saying.
Nutty B's continuing to wreak havoc here as well off the back of Euro. So that first hold for Graviton Surge, giving him 62%. Yep. Now might just be dwindling away because we're seeing Northern Gaming Blue can pretty much put up that same total.
It can actually be worth bringing in on this map if you want to play a little bit risky, but you can get a big win from it, a Tracer, because you're handling 2 Winstons and also 2 McCrees, and it is possible. The Crew still being... I think I actually prefer the lineup of Graviton Surge. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to take this map back, just because of Crew on the...
Not being channeled there as well. Ladano actually having to opt for someone off towards the side. It was soon, and the rest of his team actually just got melted in that fight because there wasn't the follow-up there available for Graviton Surge, and Ladano has to go in, and he's eventually going to be picked up by Skipjack, who's on that Winston.
And again, they win a team fight only because Crew had a good Graviton Surge. Northern Gaming Blue had 2 Lucio ults. They just used 2 Lucio ults in that fight, and they didn't win it. And Graviton Surge had no Lucio ult at all. They still won the fight. That's actually really impressive.
Yeah, I think 2 monkeys is sometimes overkill. I think the Zarya is just such a key pick here. So Crew really making the difference.
We've got another fight starting. Zaf just starting up the cap as well, just trying to get some progress on that one with the rest of his team to join him. But Nutty B has managed to use Primal Rage, but none of Graviton Surge were close to ledges, so he has to settle for just trying to shunt them straight off the point. But he's got another big old Winston to deal with at the moment. It's super chaotic on that point, but you can see slowly Mint already having dropped down. Soon.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just like, I'm kind of not face palming, but I'm just like, you're playing these heroes that the burst damage that you have is really your McCrees, but you're feeding so much to Crew through the Winstons. The damage output that they do is not enough to kind of remove Crew at all, and it means his charge is just building up slowly over time, but very safely. And even though he's only got 1 monkey on his team, he's able to really help out Skipjack, and a lot of the shields were actually thrown on Skipjack during that fight. So that win there really comes down to the Zarya and how Crew played. So absolutely amazing. I think his average charge must have been something around 70%.
70%, yeah. Like that's also what defines a good Zarya, like shielding teammates that are just taking damage. So if a good Zarya shields people that are about to be killed.
And I still don't agree with the double monkey against... You need to have something that puts more pressure onto the Zarya here. And I know the McCrees can do it, but the Zarya, it helps out everybody. You know, you can negate the flashbangs from the enemy McCree. So really, we could just watch Crew for the whole game and just see what difference he's going to make. I'm fine with that.
So far he has 0% energy, probably because he hasn't gotten any good shields off yet.
One good shield can make the difference here as well. He's starting to lay them down now as well. Pretty a bit of charge, but still not until you really get to 50% is it really starting to do much. It only really tickles, and the base damage was actually increased recently to make Zarya a little bit more viable, and now it's a huge boost, of course, when she does get to full. Ladano there falls foul of the revolver of Zebusai, and then pressure on towards the point there. Just that 1 McCree left, and eventually Zebusai picks him up as well. Doesn't quite land that stun grenade, but he does have to interrupt the Lucio duel.
Zebusai carried his team so hard in this push, like he got 3 kills on his own there. But they are already coming back with Winston and Lucio and prevent the point from being kept.
Well, they've got a few people on there as well, but Crew is also there as well, doing some work, and not super well charged up, but again, he's a big body. Trying to shift that Zarya is not an easy thing, but now he realizes he's got no teammates and he's going to have to back out himself, maybe even go through this McCree, at least assist his team as they try and regroup.
Yeah, with no team, Zarya turns into a bit of a kitten in terms of what you're able to offer, so... It'll be interesting to see if they rather kind of attack from the side, but you're playing against double Lucio. Even though both teams have it, it's just very dangerous, your point of attack when you don't have the capture point.
Well, we just see the big drop there in response to the high noons that were coming through, and Soon's just going to have to stick to right-clicking or left, whichever one it may be. He outranges that flash just enough there to keep himself alive, and he's continuing to be harassment. He actually goes in and takes out Yura, but Ladana was there to pick him up. Soon got one as well, so Zebasai and Soon combining quite nicely here. He now comes in on towards the point, trying to make something happen here with Crew, who is pretty well charged up and ready to fight this one out, but it's an opposing sound barrier that might make it a little bit harder to chunk them down.
Yeah, Zarya hasn't been so effective on this map so far, but with this charge, we'll see what's going to happen if they can keep that momentum. But having the point, it's a big deal on this map, I find, when you're playing. It just being on the point, it really makes it tricky for the enemy team to kind of attack in, but they're going to use a sound barrier. Mitch is going to take us through the window. Cinematography award. Zebasai using his ulti, and he is able to get a couple of kills, so looks like Graviton Surge are able to bring this point into their favor. Crew also 97% now, so ulti up soon. They do have both the Deadeyes, and they almost have another sound barrier for Northern Gaming Blue. So at 63%, so far they've done really well, and just one win on the point could be enough to get them this match and bring it to a 1-1 scoreline.
With no mercy for either team as well, those ultimates could be super important. Good Graviton Surge, but the bubble there is available, but it's not going to be enough. Soon breaks through it there, gets himself maybe 3 or even 4 kills.
That was a Foreman Hainon. Oh. That combo Saya ult and Hainon is like the best combo on King of the Hill map, because you can't avoid it, and the Winston bubble doesn't protect you enough.
Especially against 2 McCrees, where one of them was able to go in and right-click the Winston bubble, but they do have their sound barrier now on offense, and they almost have their second one. So it's really going to be the sound barriers that are going to be the difference here for Northern Gaming Blue, if they can make that work in their favor. Already they pick up Zebasai, currently on Crew. Again, he's got a hell of a lot of charge, and even hitting his right clicks here on his Zarya. So playing fantastic, but he's going to get knocked off as we start giving him some praise. Caster's Curse.
2 mad Winstons on the point.
The Winstons will help out. And now they have the second sound barrier. Mint has it, but he's almost dead. He's healing himself up. Soon goes down. And yeah, this feels like it's going to be Northern Gaming Blue. And with that last sound barrier, Mint, even though he was really close to dying, he was about like 30, 25 HP, he managed to just, stay alive and not use his sound barrier. So they have that sound barrier for the next fight. So this is going to be, again, it's Graviton Surge. They're going to have to use their sound barrier and get the burst damage going. But now you've still got that double Winston that, they have used their ulti. So maybe they're not as strong. We'll see what's going to happen. But again, it's a sound barrier war.
Soon as well is going to be challenging the Deadeye, but got killed pretty much straight away by Ladana. Great way to shut a player down. A lot of bubbles up here on the point, and Zebasai, in fact, trying to even use his. But everyone's left the point. No one to really connect on. Doesn't even get one person. A bit of a tag, I think it was, but still no kill to come of it. And it's a solid hold here for Northern Gaming Blue.
The Monkeys have actually worked out really well when you're ahead on the checkpoint. Oh, Crew going to use his Graviton Surge.
Double Winston bubble protecting them though.
Oh, well, when in doubt, just double it up, I guess, now as well. A couple Primal Rages happening here on the point. Still, though, Crew getting knocked away. He has to be a little bit careful here. No, one of the Winstons go. It's Nutty. He actually sends himself off the edge.
Living up to his name.
Yeah, Nutty was too greedy there. He tried jumping for Crew, but he over-jumped his target.
Sound barrier coming in now as well, just for Crew to keep him alive. He avoids getting knocked off the point, and this actually might be the retake here if he can just get these shots. But 2 Lucios as well, very, very hard to shift for Crew. He's got a Lucio of his own. He's going to have to wait for the rest of his team. He takes down Shades. That's an important kill. He's still keeping that charge quite high, and the damage is going to keep coming. Zaf now falls as well as Zebasai gets himself onto the point. He's going to keep this one in stasis, keep it contested now, and Mint also will fall. It's solid performance from Graviton Surge to keep themselves in this.
Yeah, I really like the Tracer from Zebasai coming back in. He's already made quite a big difference, putting down a huge amount of damage. Does go down there, though. I'm not sure if that was to the Winston, the McCree, but he did go down, and they are able to get the point. So, the Zarya didn't work out so well at the beginning when the fights were, in the open area. But since the last fight, again, it's a kind of a similar story to the first part of this King of the Hill, where so much charge and just not being dealt with.
Yes, Graviton Surge again for the 4th time now, and he will use it in a second for sure.
And zoning from Soon, just trying to spread the flanks of Northern Gaming Blue as they make their way through, and they are going to come in off from one of the sides, often the better route of approach to take this point, and now the Winstons are in, but that's a Graviton Surge. There is actually a bit of a bubble there up there as well, but still Soon gets himself 2 kills. Yura actually manages to reply towards Skipjack, but Soon gets his 3rd of this fight and continues to go through it. It's a great shot that cleans up Zaf as well. Soon with 4 kill contributions at the very least in that fight. and now he can just sit back and let the monkey swing his arms in vain. There's no one else to back up that damage, and overtime comes in now.
Yeah.
This might be Graviton Surge stealing the series away. If they can deal with this Winston, they take him down, but overtime now being refreshed. It ticks down. This is the last few moments, and there's no chance for Northern Gaming Blue here. They keep getting pushed back. Soon gets yet another kill on towards Ledano, but somehow, some way, Northern Gaming Blue keep refreshing this overtime countdown. Now it ticks down, it burns down, and so does their chances of staying in this series. It's a prolonged fight, and it's going to keep going.
They have Shades with ulti, but yeah, he does actually get it off. So Northern Gaming Blue are going to get a monkey on point that does actually have an ulti, which is going to be huge, and soon gets knocked off. So Northern Gaming Blue could actually be bringing this one back.
Somehow, still on the ground, brilliant. Everyone's falling off right now, that's pretty awkward, but Nevix goes down as well. Crew's still staying alive, he is well charged, but he does need his teammates to help back him up. He made it, well, it's still overtime regardless, I guess, of who's trying to take the point. I'm not sure how it works if it ticks over, but Crew gets Shades, he's still alive. It's a one-man army right now, and he's hanging on, but he's got a Tracer still to deal with. Now he's going to have his own Tracer come on in now, and this is tense stuff. This is Northern Gaming Blue fighting for their chance to stay in this tournament, but it may just not be enough. Still another overtime being brought up, Pulse Bomb used in the Graviton Surge, only catching the Tracer, but for Crew, that may be enough for the moment.
Yeah, not being able to take out Crew in the final moments may be devastating. He was down to about 70 HP before he ran away and ended up picking up the health. They were trying to capture the point back and then get the win, but they should have chased down Crew, and they're paying for it now. But the Tracers is their last-ditch effort to stay in the tournament thus far. Flashbang hit, but no follow-up there from Soon. And again,
so intense. This could go either way. Skipjack gets two as well. He's definitely lifting now, coming off the tank to do some Tracer work here. Crew gets one as well, and it looks like it's all against Northern Gaming Blue, but they just keep coming back. It's not how hard you can get. Oh, it's not hard you can hit, but how, I guess, you can get up after getting hit now. I've ruined it, but Skipjack doesn't. He gets out from that point. He's going to try and stop the reinforcements coming in. It's a zoning pulse bomb to try and keep them back, and that may just be it here. Overtime ticks down, and Graviton Surge steal it away, and they're going to send Northern Gaming Blue home.
Nice switch there as well from Skipjack, going on the Tracer. Make sure we got back into the fights. Really intense match, but really MVP for me from the King of the Hill, at least. Definitely Crew. And there were actually two people on the point. One of them was I can't remember the name, sorry, so I'm just going to say Monkey, followed with a Lucio. And Crew was actually pretty low and ran for the 125 or how much ever health it was on the backside. And when he came back in, his team were joining him. If they managed to kill him and take him out, he was such a big factor, in that kind of, when everyone's just running in constantly.